Hi there again, Colin McClellan here once more with another tune on my instructional series. The tune I want to cover just now is The Phantom Piper of Corryarrick, which is a tune composed by my father in 1969, my father Johnny McClellan in 1969, to commemorate quite a famous story about the pipes being sounded in the Corryarrick Pass during a route march of the Cameron Highlanders in 1959. And you can read more about that story in books like the Queen's Own Highlanders Cabernet collection, and indeed in the new book which we have put out, The Complete Compositions of Kelmore, containing all of my father's Pibroch compositions. So the Phantom Piper of Corryarrick was the recipient of the first prize in 1969 of the Psalter Society in Edinburgh's composing competition, and an excellent tune, and it has been set this year for the major competitions and has been set 2 or 3 times in the past also. It's a stately sounding tune, a very calm musical tune where good phrasing and expert fingering is important. It contains many little twists and turns, some of which I will explain as we go along, and some unusual fingerings as well, again of which we'll explain as we progress. The ground of the tune goes like this. So as a modern tune, fairly recently composed, there are no different settings of the tune. What you see is what you get, and that interpretation of mine is more or less exactly the same as what was taught to me by my father many years ago, and is the same as the one that he plays on one of the recordings that is still available of him playing it. A couple of things just to point out, a couple of movements which are a little unusual. You've got the G grace note on the Idri. That movement is a little bit unusual and quite important that you take your time with that movement and play it a little bit possibly more open than you would a regular Idri movement. And also if you look along in the second and third bar rather of line 2, you have the throw an F with an unusual G grace note in it as well, coming from low A. Like that. Again, you just take your time with that and play it in a little bit more open fashion than perhaps you normally would. The tune is followed then by Variation 1 Singling, which has a nice feature of little introductory high A's, and it also has a very subtle turn at the end of each of lines 1, 2 and 3, which I'll explain as I go on. So something like this. So that little phrase at the ends of lines 1, 2 and 3 incorporate a little subtlety that is almost impossible to replicate in written notation. And so I'll just play the last two bars, or sing it rather. Ho and dee hum be he hum bo ho he ho hum, like that. Ho hum be ante hunty he hunty. That's how you play it. Ho hunty ante hunty. Like that. And then of course in the third line it changes to D ho and D and do and D he a and do he ho to finish off the variation. Variation 1 doubling, fairly straightforward. Like that, very straightforward. And indeed the Torley singling, the Torley doubling, the Kroonle singling and the Kroonle doubling are fairly straightforward as well. I'll play bits of that just now. Torley singling. Very straightforward, not too fast. It's a very stately piece. It doesn't move along quickly. Nice relaxed style. The doubling. Something like that. Coming to rest at the end in a nice transition slowing down slightly into the crooner singling. Like that. And then just a crooner breve doubling in just the normal round style. Like that to finish the tune off. So in some ways it's a very straightforward tune. It contains one or two pieces of fingering, which is a little bit unusual. It requires throughout a very musical touch to keep the musical interest while playing it in a calm and stately manner, and in the right hands, of course, which I'm sure are yours. It's a fantastic tune, and one that I hope you enjoy playing and that you might include in your repertoire. Thanks for listening, and I hope you come back and hear more of the tunes in my series. Thank you.